Chapter 21, Section 4, continued. June 28th, 1919, you're going to have the creation of the Treaty of Versailles. This treaty, we described it as harsh and humiliating. Germany had to give Alsace and Lorraine back to France. Germany had to give France coal mines in the Saar region for 15 years to make up for France's destroyed mines. Germany lost land to Poland, establishing the Polish corridor, creating the seaport of Danzig as a free city run by the League of Nations. Germany, their treaty with Russia, the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, is repealed. It had Germany as a winner. German territory on both sides of the Rhine River were demilitarized. The German military is going to be limited. 100,000 men, no heavy artillery, no tanks, no warplanes, only a volunteer army, no draft. The Navy was going to be limited to a small fleet with no submarines. Germany's going to lose territory overseas in Africa and Asia and the Pacific. You know, France and Britain are receiving African colonies as mandates, meaning they're run under the League of Nations by these countries. Japan receives mandates in the Pacific. Germany had to take blame for the war. The war was their fault. Germany had to pay reparations to other nations. You know, they had to pay for all the things they destroyed. The price tag given to Germany was $33 billion. In today's money, that's close to $3 trillion. Germany's very bitter over this. A large number. It's not all their fault. You're going to have some new countries created. Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia. Austria and Hungary are separated, forbidden from ever uniting with Germany. And then the Treaty of Versailles establishes a League of Nations, trying to peacefully resolve disputes. And if negotiations fail, there'd be a waiting period before they go to war. Hopefully, calmer heads will prevail in that time. This was the Treaty of Versailles. Wilson brings home this treaty in July of 1919. Wilson can't approve a treaty. It's up to the Senate to approve treaties. That's what the Constitution says. The Republicans, he's going to need Republican help to get this treaty approved. Not just Democrats. There were 14 Republican senators that were referred to as the irreconcilables. They absolutely rejected the treaty. They objected to the League of Nations. They will not, no matter what, approve this treaty. There's no point even talking to them. 35 Republican senators were called reservationists. They could possibly support this treaty if some changes were made to the League of Nations covenant of it. They don't want to commit to war in the defense of another nation, something that may have nothing to do with us. The reservationists are going to be led by Henry Cabot Lodge, Wilson's longtime enemy. And he's going to keep this treaty stalled in the Senate throughout the whole summer of 1919. Wilson's going to go on a cross-country little trip, trying to build up support for the treaty. Wilson's going to end up suffering a stroke. He almost dies from the stroke, actually lives out the rest of his term in the White House, but refuses to compromise on the Treaty of Versailles with the League of Nations. The Senate never approves the Treaty of Versailles. But the League of Nations is still established in Geneva, Switzerland. The thing is, though, we were not a member, which is ironic because it was our idea. Let's look at the impact of this war. Europe's going to struggle to recover from this war. I mean, 10 million dead, 21 million wounded. Much of the continent's industry, agriculture, destroyed. I mean, northern France was completely destroyed. France had the greatest percentage of the population dead or wounded. More than half of all Frenchmen between 20 and 32 years old were killed in this war. France has 300,000 houses destroyed, 20,000 factories or workshops destroyed, 1.3 million head of livestock destroyed or confiscated, thousands of acres of forest, of farmland, ravaged by shell fire, dug up with the trenches. You're going to have 4 empires brought down by World War I. The Tsar in Russia was gone. The Kaiser in Germany was gone. Austria-Hungarian Empire is gone. And the Ottoman Empire is gone. Here's the thing, though. Many of the problems that began World War I, they persisted. They were still here. Nationalism was still around. You got Germans who swear they're going to tear up the Treaty of Versailles and get their land back. You got Italians that thought they should receive more land. They're mad. Hungary hates how much land it lost to Romania. Japan's mad. They thought they should have got more of Germany and Austria-Hungary's land out in the Pacific. Militarism was still around. You got these veterans that had lived on adrenaline for all these years in this war. They miss the excitement, and you're going to see them joining these extremist groups that are glorifying the war. But back here in the U.S., people are, when we entered this war, people were told that this was the war to end all wars. And when the war ends, many thought U.S. soldiers had just died for nothing. This didn't end anything. The problems were still there. Why'd we even go? And this is going to help lead us back towards an isolationist mentality